Hello and welcome back to the Coaches Show on SportsNetUSA.net. Southern California Championship is coming up this Saturday, and we're going to preview it with the voice of Fullerton College football, Mark Pavlovich, in addition to talking to Coach Garrett Campbell, offense coordinator for Fullerton College. Right now we're being joined by the voice of Fullerton College football, Mr. Mark Pavlovich. Mark, Saturday, it's a rematch of the 2013 SoCal Championship.
Yeah, and when you think about it, when it was played at Chappelle Stadium, it was a game that nobody liked each other before it started. So there's going to be a lot of emotion, especially on the Riverside time, because look at Riverside, Ryan. Riverside didn't make the state championship in 2013 because of us. They didn't make the state championship in 2014 because that was Mount Sac. They didn't make the state championship in 2015 because that was Saddleback. They have now gone over on the last three opportunities, and now we're here for number 4, a rematch in 2013 back at Chappelle Stadium. It's going to be an interesting game, to say the least. I'm going to be getting old just calling it, I can tell you that.
And this is an offense for Riverside that has over 2,000 yards rushing and 2,500 yards passing.
Yeah, it's a team that, as we saw last week, where Fullerton lost their offense, you can't do that against Riverside. You saw it last week when Saddleback played them, and Saddleback got even, and then all of a sudden sort of disappeared, and their big receivers came out and made the catches they had to, and Riverside was off and running. If the Hornet defense can't stop those big receivers, they're in trouble.
And talking about the running game just a second ago, do you think that the defensive line for Fullerton College needs to be able to step up on Saturday?
Yeah, I think really they are the key in the game. They were the key against Ventura. I mean, Yance and Bonner went berserk down there and realized when you brought Parcells, he never got to the quarterback. It was the down lineman that did it. And, of course, then you look at Taj Smith out there and D'Angelo Ross. They're going to be huge. Defensive back. I think defense wins this game. I don't think this game's going to be that scoring game everybody thinks it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot closer, and I think both teams are going to be held under 30 or right at 30 at the most.
If they're going to be held under 30, what does Fullerton College offense have to do to be able to lengthen out their drives?
I think what they've got to do is they've got to throw the short little pass. They've got to use their slot receivers like they did against Riverside, which they did with Manny Weather and, of course, Mighty Mouse, Asante Wilder. He was in the slot, had a big game out there. And pick up those 8 or 9 yards. What it does, the clock runs. You're not stopping it after every first down. And then what you do is you roll Wood, Butler, or Hewlett out of the backfield and flip it to them. And I think if it's those 5 that you're throwing the ball to, Fullerton easily wins the football game.
Is there an X factor that you see for the game?
The X factor for the game for the Hornets is going to be the kicking game. I think our punter, who is averaging about 38 yards a game, needs to have some big kicks. And, of course, you look at Aguilar, who's got the record for PATs. He made big field goals in this game. 6 big points. What did the Hornets win by? 6. His 2 field goals won that game. As stupid as that sounds, they did. And he's going to have to come up big against Riverside because Riverside can stop the Hornets. I told Corey Nealon today, I think it's going to be like a Rocky game. The team that stays focused, stays with their game plan. You throw those body punches. You don't let anybody convince you to do what you can't do. If you stay with the game plan, Fullerton, I think, wins this game. I already was talking to Emmett Benjamin Pavlovich. He's got the Hornets winning by 9 against Riverside.
So we'll see you on Saturday, Mr. Mark Pavlovich, in addition to Corey Nealon.
Well, you'll be there. He's going to be on the sideline for me telling me whatever. Well, you can't tell me what they actually say on the sideline, but he'll be there on SportsNetUSA.net.
So we'll talk to Coach Garrett Campbell in just a second as we preview that game on Saturday. So right now we're here with the offensive coordinator for Fullerton College, Coach Garrett Campbell. Coach Campbell, how do you rate your offense's performance on Saturday?
I think for 36 minutes for 54 minutes we were played extremely well. I think last 4 minutes of the game we didn't close it out the way we could have or should have. But I think overall actually we played pretty well, and I was happy with our efficiency overall. I thought our kids did a great job of executing. I thought the O-line blocked extremely well. I thought our running backs ran extremely tough, and I think we hit them on some passes that, as usual, our quarterback was very consistent in his approach and just did a great job. I think overall we played extremely well. I mean, you put up 600 yards on a playoff team. Obviously, you've done something right, you know. So,
Jordan Hoy, 327 passing yards on Saturday. What does it feel like for you to see a quarterback excel so much?
well, I'll tell you what I was happy with Jordan was not so much the passing yards. I was actually happier with the way he checked protections and did some things that throughout the course of the season he's kind of struggled to do, and he really it kind of all started to click for him on Saturday. He really understood that where the pressure was coming from, how to get rid of the ball quickly, and just how to handle himself as a passer. And I thought he did a tremendous job with that, and he's doing a heck of a job with that. Obviously, he can run, he can escape. We know that, but if he can continue to develop himself as a passer, I mean, sky's the limit for him.
Do you think that the quarterbacking position is now edging towards more of an athlete than an arm?
Um, Well, I will say this. I think a good offense and hopefully a good offensive coordinator can adjust to either. And I think that I think you always have to have a passing game at the college level. I think if you don't, you can get in trouble sometimes. But I think you definitely want to have that balance and have a quarterback who can escape when he feels pressure and needs to get out and make a play. You know, you're not always going to have a guy like Jordan who can run, you know, break it off for 70 or 80 yards. But at the same time, if you have a young man that can break it off for 15 or 20 on a scramble, you're in great shape.
Well, last time we talked to you was after the Cerritos game. How has your offense improved since then?
Well, we've become more efficient. And even though we've put up a lot of yards and we had up until that point a lot of points, I think we've become more efficient in our scheme and more efficient in our blocking. I think our young men understand better what we want from them. I think they understand the bigger picture of what we're trying to accomplish better. I think you know, a lot of receivers are starting to understand how the blocking of the offensive line plays into what they do. Just things like that. I think we're just a lot more efficient overall, and I'm really happy with our guys' football IQ. I think has been heightened, and I think that's really helped us a ton.
You have a four-headed monster in the running back game.
Yep.
How does that help your offense?
You know, I'll tell you where it hurts us is there's only one ball. You know, but when you have four guys who are as good as and talented as they are, you do your best to try and get them going. And you've seen it this year. I mean, they've all had excellent games at different times, and you do your best to just try and make sure that they all touch the ball, which is really kind of difficult at times for me, especially knowing we like to go fast and we like to just hurry up our plays. But I think they've done a good job. They are very good at working together. And they really do seriously cheer for each other when the other one has success. So we saw Gerald break off a run on Saturday for about 25-yard touchdown run or 20-yard touchdown run. The other guys were cheering for him. They were excited for him. They've all had success throughout the year. And quite honestly, they haven't turned the ball over either. So it's not like they're, you know, it's hard for me as the coordinator to say, hey, you know, this guy needs to play over this guy, because they're really all doing a great job.
When you have a playoff game, how does the pressure increase?
Well, I heard a long time ago that pressure is what you feel when you don't know what's going on. And quite honestly, I think we know what's going on. I think we understand the expectations. I think we understand what we're up against, whether it's been last Saturday against Ventura or this Saturday with Riverside. I think we understand what we're up against, and I think the simple fact of the matter is, as long as we focus and we prepare and worry about ourselves, pressure is something that you don't really pay attention to. You don't need to pay attention to. Excitement, energy, enthusiasm, all that, you know, we'll have butterflies and anxieties, sure, but we're not going to be feel this pressure that it's kind of, you know, just if we're complete failures if something doesn't go our way, we'll just respond and we'll go back on.
Just a few seconds ago, you said fast-paced offense. How do you feel a fast-paced offense varies against an offense that huddles every single play?
Oh wow, the dynamics are pretty extreme. You know, it's that's a great question. I'll tell you what, and I've done it both ways. And going up tempo and going slow pace, there is merit to both. There are excellent points to both. To be honest with me, for me, I'm a football coach and I love doing football, and I get to do more football because I have more plays when we go fast tempo. That's what I enjoy. So I have fallen in love with going tempo, and I have for the last I think we've gone tempo the last 7 years, and prior to my arrival here even. You know, I just enjoy it because I get to do more football and I get to tinker more. Quite honestly, when you're going slow tempo, you really have to be methodical in how you set up your plays. I'm still setting up plays, and I'm still trying to pick on certain people, but I'm doing it at a faster rate. And what I'm hoping to do is wear down the defense, quite honestly. So.
Well, thank you, Coach. We love your enthusiasm, and we hope to see you on the field on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
On Saturday, Fullerton College gets the win, 48-42. They beat Ventura, and they're on to the Southern California Championship. And if you're wondering where you can see that game, well, there are two options. You can go out to Chappelle Stadium in Yorba Linda on Saturday afternoon, or you can watch it right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Mark Pavlovich and Corey Nalen will both be on the call there. So once again, that's Saturday, the Southern California Championship. Riverside, Fullerton College, it's a rematch of 3 years ago in 2013. So once again, you can see that here on SportsNetUSA.net. And speaking of SportsNetUSA.net, champions. That's right, champions. Los Angeles Valley College plays in the American Division Championship Bowl last Saturday, and what do? Well, they struggle a little bit early on. Their offense doesn't really get going. Jorgensen throws a pick, that gets deflected, and all of a sudden, Southwestern has the ball, and they have the lead. 16-7 was our score going into the third quarter. What happens after that? Well, it can only be described in one way: quickness and speed. Akil Crumpton takes a kickoff return all the way to the house, 97 yards. Akil Crumpton gives LA Valley College the lead in the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden LA Valley has a 17-16 lead. They would go on to add another score and shut down Southwestern. So once again, Los Angeles Valley College football, they are the 2016 American Division Championship Bowl champions. That was right here on SportsNetUSA.net. I'd like to thank Aaron Rosenberg for being on the call there with me, Ryan Osborn, for LA Valley all season long, and we look forward to doing LA Valley football in the years to come. So once again, Saturday afternoon, Fullerton College goes for that championship game. They're going to be in the SoCal Championship once again. And if you also would like to stay up to tune with everything that's going on with the Fullerton College Hornets, well, check out Vincent Garcia's Fullerton College Sports Weekly on 90.1 FM KBPK. Maybe you're not in the Buena Park area. Well, you can also listen to it on the TuneIn app. Just search KBPK, or on the Radio Loyalty app as well. Once again, search KBPK. That's Vincent Garcia, the man who covers all things Fullerton College sports, here on 90.1 FM KBPK, the Fullerton College Sports Weekly. So this has been the Coach's Show, and we look forward to watching Fullerton College in the Southern California Championship. I am Ryan Osborn, and this has been the Coach's Show on SportsNetUSA.net.